Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. So, we're doing something a little bit different now in this level. We found the map fairly late in the game, but we're going around the entire level back into this central hub where there's this astrological clock or clock with zodiac signs around it. You know, it's interesting that there's so many puzzles around zodiac signs when there's plenty of other like hieroglyphs or cuneiform, like particularly since this is the Emperor's Tomb of China, you would expect that you would see maybe something more related to Chinese mythos than zodiac signs. We also have the assistant lady. Oh, right. Maybe you're not supposed to 100% know it's the assistant lady running around as a ninja in all of the rooftops. And well, we're also running around all the rooftops. So we've got a little bit of puzzleness going on, but it does kind of quickly boil back down to fighting a lot of bad guys and being fairly low on bullets. And so we heard the sound of a door opening and a door closing, and I wonder if... So I assume that was this guy that was opening the door open. And I'm just making a special effort to punch every single thing. You can see there's a door over here, and we can see we're going to probably wrap around and go to this higher area.
That's not going to work.
So yeah, interconnected loops seems to be the new strategy as far as level design, which is definitely a more advanced concept in level design compared to your standard, like, just linear from point A to point B design that we saw in the first level. I thought I might be able to knock that guy off the edge. But yeah, we're going from point A to point B to point A to point B, back to point A, then to point C. Alright. We'll stop moving with the left stick. We'll move with the right stick. If I was to fall to my death at this point, I would only have to fight a couple of guys and then it would be reset. It's very believable though that you might get a little confused as to which way to go. There's not quite as much breadcrumbing as I would like, but it's not terrible. The skybox definitely looks nice. That being said, it is worth pointing out that we are still just stealing whole cloth concepts from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Now we can just punch this guy now that we got the gun away from him. Castle is riddled with booby traps. Looks like we may go back in here. Or There may just not be anything in here. These doors do seem like they don't like to always close correctly. See, it definitely feels like we might be directly reconnecting to places previous in the level. Or at least it seems like that was the thought. We got really annoying music playing. So I think we went full circle there. And they're opening up areas which would be fine if you were, say, dying a lot and needed a shortcut, and it was locking in the fact that you could interact with those shortcuts. I just kind of question whether any of that is ever going to happen. It doesn't seem like it would.
That's not gonna work.
So you jump this way, and we can get some revolver ammo. Then jump this way. We're setting up for a whip swing. Even at that, though, it seems like I took a little bit of fall damage. Default line of dialogue there that they probably plan to use multiple times. Although I wouldn't be surprised if it gets only used a couple of times throughout the entire game. We are doing more puzzle, find the key type gameplay ideas, which I can somewhat appreciate that. Climbing up here and climbing up here is where we're going in the long run. I'm a little shocked though that this is what this is. I was expecting more of a wizard's tower type of design.
That's not gonna work.
We can't open that? Interesting. Yeah, I was expecting something more mystical themed than just observing the stars. But I guess the general idea is that the puzzle in the basement, that we're getting back to the clock tower, and this is built around astrological signs. Yeah. It really doesn't make any sense, though, that you would have the astrological signs instead of the Chinese New Year signs. Animals.
That's not gonna work.
Still can't do anything here.
Nice.
So we just pushed on that. And now we have Vegas
Break down the door.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Are they going to successfully break down the door?
You're a man, Jones.
Sounds like that definitely was designed to be an escape mission. Escape and slide.
Wir können hier Hilfe gebrauchen.
These guys have far too few lines of dialogue. See, that's one of the beauties around they just stuck for a generation or two further into point-and-click adventure games. They could have focused a lot more on... Wow, he's like stunned. I'm getting stun locked, and the guy is floating on a ledge. Come on, put this away. Pick up my hat. Now you can walk on this ledge here for no real reason. And I guess if we can sneak up like this and grab him, we can get a few extra hits on him. And we can just refill our water to refill our health.
That's not gonna work.
What I want to do, though, now that we have a breath, a second to look at this, let's look at Vega's manifesto. It is a piece that is equipped. It is not, oddly, a thing you can read. Return to the astrological clock is our goal. So we will just follow the goal. It seems to me like there might have been something more here, but unlike Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine, you don't have a map button. Let's just confirm that. Options, controls. Yeah, there's no open map button. Still ridiculous sound effects. So we're just collecting these things, these items, and handing them to the guy. And this item that we're handing is not as much this, I think, as it might be this. I can't help but just think at some point one of these statues of death is going to take a swipe at me. I also kind of feel like maybe one of them over here on the right has moved. Alright. So we could do this one. And that's probably the right move. Because, nope, this is it. Actually, look at the background. There's a scroll there that I wouldn't have ever seen before. So this is the last one. Alright, so we want the sun pointing straight down, the moon pointing to the top and left, and the animal I am uncertain about. Let's see. Let's do what we can do. I'm gonna assume that's correct. Then two guys holding a sword maybe that's supposed to be in Gemini? I guess it is. Okay. So now we're back to another area. By designing the levels like this, which is a much more modern approach, you're having a lot more loading, but you're also allowing a lot more checkpoints because you're putting a checkpoint with every loading section. Here we have yet another kind of nice looking tapestry. It's low resolution obviously, but it does just seem like there's a lot of effort being put into these designs. Something on the table. It's a med kit. We'll take a chair with us. That didn't work. And we're getting the flybys to show us where to go.
This is the tower mark on the map. We've got to find a way to get out there. Find that crystal.
It's funny, this game is getting better as we play it. At least this prog level is. Which, that's really not a good way to design your game. To have a 3-hour experience at the very beginning. That's mediocre and then slowly get better somewhere around the 5 or 6 hour mark. I mean, that is the number one thing you don't want to hear from people trying to sell you on a game, is just grind through the bad parts for the first 3 to 5 hours.
Wir können hier Hilfe gebrauchen.
He just got knocked all the way off. Is there anything more I can do in this room? Doesn't seem like it. So it does seem like you are just jumping. Seems like you could climb on this ledge. Which, a more modern game, you'd almost expect for the ledge to give away and you almost fall to your death.
To think I joined the secret police to get away from God. What I wouldn't give for a good strudel.
That's an interesting, unique line of dialogue.
We can do this the easy way or hard way. Why do they always pick the hard way?
So we have just barely enough bullets to take out maybe 2 or 3 people. And I guess I could jump over the ledge and walk over there, but I don't think the game really wants me to do that. And I guess my health is probably healthy enough that I don't need to drink any water. Definitely have some concern that I'm just gonna fall and then we'd have to do this whole section again. Although I could probably breeze through this pretty quickly. This is probably a good example of where extending the idea of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where you were crawling on the outside of the Nazi castle, does work in a video game, since it's not crazy to take what was probably less than 5 minutes of a sequence in the movie and convert that into a 10 to 20 experience. And certainly they're expanding a lot because they can take more time. So this seems like this might be an elevator that takes us up higher. This seems like a bell that is probably blocking a path downward. This seems like this might be a shortcut sequence. Let's go ahead and just check our health. I would prefer if the game showed our health when it's not at maximum anyways. Yeah, a Chinese New Year calendar would make a lot more sense instead of all the zodiac things. And there's nothing you seemingly can do up here other than pull a lever. Well, maybe you pull 2 levers. And then you have like a Da Vinci. Yeah, a Da Vinci flying machine. I wouldn't be super surprised if what happened here is that they actually did discover the Emperor's Tomb around the time that this game was being developed. And so, it being hot on everybody's minds, they kind of retrofitted that as the final goal.
This is definitely not a safe way to fly. Unfortunately, I don't have any other choice.
Because this prog level really is not connecting to that at all. And he's just on top of it, not even laying down or holding on or using the whip as a leash. Nice little cutscene, certainly. And so we flew down to end up here in this library.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Let's see. What would it be our best gun to use? Probably the revolver. I can't jump up here and climb on that. Might be able to jump up here and climb on this. Yeah, it would be cool if there was some kind of like weird achievement around all of that. Around breaking all the statues. Okay. So it's some skeleton has his soul sucked out, I guess, for this key. So we're gonna grab this, and then the room's gonna lock, and then gas is gonna start filling the room again, which that's exactly what happened in the... Let's just jump and press B, even though we're not looking in that direction. That's what happened with the crown also. So even the fact that he was wearing a like mechanical helmet in that machine was like a visual indicator. I suspect we're safe from the gas at this point. And now it's just all about climbing down a lot of places. They don't want to make this too much of a challenge, so I don't think they're going to like force me to move at any like high speed motion.
That's not gonna work.
Interesting. So now we're on the second level of stairs. You could see how a more modern game would have the like top of the tower on fire, and then it would pretend like the whole thing is burning, and there would be a lot of music playing to make you feel like there was a lot of action going on, even if the tower never actually would burn down. I can't help but feel like they skipped a lot there, too. And unless you could go back this way, I don't think you'd easily be able to refill any health if you needed to. I don't think you need to. Although, it would be kind of crazy if it turned out that these two did start attacking you and you had to shoot them. Although they've fairly established that the game... Oh, what was I going to say? Lost my track of thought. Yeah, I don't know if you really would need to refill your health in this section. And if these two did start to attack you, that would break the idea of statues being automated machines and attacking you, and turn them into more mystical, magical things. So I'm guessing here the move is to have both of them at the number 10 position. And the game's not going to give you any extra hints. You just gotta figure it out. Although, I don't think too many people would have actually gotten stuck on this puzzle. So we're looking for, I guess, the scales. So now we're moving to the final area. So it'd be weird to kind of come back here, and if we did come back here, we would have to learn some other kind of code through this. Feels almost like we're sacrificing objects towards some kind of spell. But I imagine they will just treat it like keys. Alright, so we do have a Jekyll Frankensteinian type character. That's not working.
Some kind of acid. This stuff is lethal.
I was not supposed to be bumped up that way. So this guy is doing some explosive attacks, although in fairness he's not really hurting me that much. Maybe that's because I'm playing on easy. So we're seeing the full culmination around the idea of like breakable environmental things. But I'm not sure I'm supposed to just... I'm not sure I'm not supposed to do something else. There's a key item here. Like, I don't think we're supposed to just break things. I don't think we're supposed to do other things. Like, we've kind of eliminated everything in the room. So did I just hit him with the acid when he was charging up? Or yeah, I think I may have hit him with the acid when he was charging up, and that may have been the important action there. Oh, that's a bad position to drop the metal pipe, I suspect. Right. We're in trouble. I need to be able to pull off the canteen and drink the canteen to refill my health. And maybe what I should have done instead would have been to use a health kit. Might have made a lot of sense. I think with this stick they specifically wanted me to be able to actually do some damage face on instead of exclusively doing other things. And honestly, I don't think the hat actually gives you any extra damage reduction. See if maybe we can jump. Do we have any guns? Like, you could see how potentially saving all your bullets on the SMG might have been a smart move. See, I don't know if the game there was taking pity on me or if I just got lucky there. I could have also, I guess, thrown a throwing knife at him, although I doubt I would have gotten a lot of opportunities to make a hit there. Doesn't seem like we're going to do anything else with these emaciated bodies. Not quite skeletons though this time. Yeah, suffice it to say though, this feels very disconnected from Chinese lore. Is this possibly supposed to be a solution? And I kind of thought he might break down and fall through the glass here, and then that would lead to a path. We have an odd buzzing sound effect. What am I supposed to do with the odd buzzing sound effect? Well, I guess we just got the dragon shards. It's in our inventory. It was in the chest of the guy. So I guess I'm supposed to just walk away. This is twice now where after the big boss fight you're just supposed to leave the way you came.
Can you hear me? Dr. Jones? What? No more jokes.
You again? Wonderful.
He does have a swastika type in.
I cannot express how delighted I am to see you again. So much gas. Throw him on the train. I will conduct the interrogation when we reach Istanbul.
This was the guy we threw into the giant crocodile water. Now we have this really nice but low resolution, low framed loading sequence going from I think it was Peru to Istanbul. Now you can see him chained up, but the chains are just clipping through his wrist like crazy. Ninja lady just followed you the whole way.
Our interrogation is quite grueling. Sadly, I have other matters that require my attention.
We could always wait until you return.
I think not. Goodbye, Dr. Jones.
Yin, get me out of here.
It looks like we've gone down Dr. Jones after all.
Don't let this bump in the road throw you. The Nazis have no idea what they're looking for.
Do not be too sure of that. The Germans are activating a city in Istanbul.
They found the palace of Belisarius? No wonder Von Beck was in a hurry.
You must go there and find a third piece of the mirror of dreams. Remember, I'll be watching you.
I don't feel like this voice actor is doing a particularly great job. I don't know if it is intentionally she's putting a non-English language speaking on it, or if it is just bad voice acting, or that they hired a natively Chinese speaking or lady who didn't really have a English accent she could do, which I doubt for 2003 that would have been the case. We're once again seeing just too much punching, too much fighting going on. That really should have been a pre-rendered cutscene to fix the chains on the wrist problem. At that rate, you could have also had the graphics a little bit better if it was a pre-rendered cutscene. But I guess what we're not seeing in this, what I would define as a second generation 3D platformer, is a lot of out of engine pre-rendered cutscene or 3D physics around objects so that they would naturally wrap around a wrist and move in the way it should move. We also have a weird situation there in which I have this knife now. I would say maybe it's a scimitar. Turkish knife is what they're going with. We are missing all of our other equipment, including our cantina, so we gotta be somewhat careful. But noticeably, stabbing people with the knives is not having them bleed or killing them instantaneously or hurting them at significant levels more than punching would. We can hear him getting wounded again. You have a very slow side swipe.
This ought to even up the odds.
Like, very slow side swipe. It's not gonna hit anywhere near where that guy is. So I guess maybe the idea is they have given up on the idea of knife fighting very quickly in favor of a much more enjoyable concept of throwing grenades. Didn't work for that guy. We do have explosive barrels, but I'm not sure
myself up.
that the explosive barrels do enough damage. Interesting. So we're just back to the full loading section. We'll go ahead and skip it, and then we'll skip this cutscene, but depending on your luck as far as just how quickly and smoothly you can button mash your punches, you can take a significant amount of health damage in this first fight, or basically none. I really doubt, though, you can even bother to turn me in the shish kebab. I really doubt you can even use the B button. It does seem like if you could get up here, you could slide down that way, but you wouldn't have your... You wouldn't even have the Indiana Jones whip to pull that off. And without the whip, you also don't have... You don't have the way to disarm a character.
Boom. Boom.
Let's go over here.
That's not gonna work.
And see if maybe that door would have opened. Did we get rid of the other guy? Because you kind of have to get to this point. And then... Alright, so we did get one guy. This is our last option. But if for even a second the grenades bounce back, you're in trouble.
I'll try not to pull myself up.
There's an interesting thought, certainly, as far as could you blow up a door, or could you blow up these crates, or could you blow up this crate in particular? No. You can't blow up crates, you can't blow up other grenades or anything like that. Are effectively protected. And then we started to go down this way, and maybe that was the wrong direction to start. Maybe we should have come over here and investigated a little bit more. Doesn't really seem like there's anything here. Yeah. So my hope here is that we can take out these guys, but honestly, I don't think it really works that way. I think they take too long to die and too many bullets to die from.
I'll try not to pull myself up.
And in this case, I'm gonna try and throw that and then run. Just run all the way around the corner. Did I get him? No. Is there a way? In which I could throw a grenade over the ledge that way? This is setting us up for some rough experience. We hopefully, I guess, would be close to being done in this area, or we would get at least
That's not gonna
health
work.
refill. We have these explosive barrels that aren't red, which I think is kind of out of what you would expect in a video game in modern times, where regardless of how much it may not make sense in the narrative, by default you would have explosive barrels. What's weird about this is you have all these like safety warnings and stickers on these barrels, which tells me these were pre-made barrels for some other game, because it doesn't make any sense that these safety chemical warning stickers would exist in the time that this is occurring, in the area that this is occurring. So we got a satchel, we got some ammo, and we got a med kit. That satchel brings us to a canteen. I think medkit being used now would make a lot of sense. Medkit doing full heals. Let's see, 6 revolver shots otherwise. So, like, you're just not going to get revolver shots likely in the game at all. So the MP40 probably is your best bet weapon.
That's not gonna work.
And now we're just going backwards, I guess. We have a whip, so I guess we are going to whip over this direction. And yeah, I don't see a real reason why you would whip over anything else or go back to the prison area. It would be foolish to make any kind of assumption other than this level being really, really long. Because the previous level was really, really long.
That's not gonna work.
Okay, this guy definitely wants to be blown up. But we've got to get the angle right. We're going to take a little bit of damage. Seriously, neither one of those work. This? Yes, I can. Great. I don't think anybody else is coming, though. Which, that's not very fun. I mean, clearly the move would have been to have at least 5 to 20 people all... Wow, that guy had perfect accuracy on his throw, too. Somebody else was supposed to be shooting? Okay. Well, attempt number 2, I don't even want to take fall damage. We can't get into that section. It doesn't seem like the game wants us to climb up there. Try my Jade Phoenix technique. So am I supposed to just let her fight all these guys? Doesn't seem like that's gonna work. She did take one guy out. What's funny is, effectively, we have a co-op game now, and we have our female companion that you would expect in a Indiana Jones story. So for the problem here is that it's hours and hours and hours away from when you would have expected them to introduce a female character. You're pretty much introduced to a female character within the first 5 minutes of they go, I mean, Indiana Jones and Fate of Atlantis, and Temple of Doom. I think I have to do some level of damage to him, or take the killing blow. What am I supposed to be doing here? Maybe defending my life might be a good move. Maybe just running. Could I have avoided some of the other fighting had I just run in here? Now we have to take a moment and point out that I seriously doubt in Istanbul you would have bamboo scaffolding. That definitely feels like that's something that would make a lot more sense in China in some later level. And if you were to follow the Temple of Doom, it's a nice skybox, although it definitely looks very hand-painted. Temple of Doom 100% takes place in India, like after the starting in the America, so like the first scene takes place outside of India. So it's not unreasonable to have made this game take the whole time in China. And even for the time that this is set in, the 1940s, 1950s is what I'm guessing there. I think you could have had different parts of China look very, very different. Okay. I'm assuming this door doesn't open. In a lot of ways, we are just climbing around a different kind of castle. No longer a German castle, but instead a Istanbulian castle. This might be called Hagias, but I'm not 100% sure if that's what they're called or not. Just big Istanbulian Islamic buildings with the big round dome architecture, and often you see like a moon or crescent moon You can hear what sounds like calls to prayers or being announced in the background when it gets quiet. This might be a mosque, but generally I think mosques are not particularly vertical or even that enclosed. They tend to be a little bit more open air. Seriously, these guys are just gonna follow us? So do I want to chase or do I want to flee? I feel like the game is definitely encouraging me to just flee. So let's play a different game here. Let's run away for our life. And let's see if there's real value in running away from life. Now noticeably you won't be collecting any collectibles with this strategy, but are there a lot of collectibles to even find in this game? Not really. So
I don't believe it. The Nazis have discovered the sunken palace of Belisarius. Von Beck must be smarter than he looks.
I guess at a certain level I might be hurting myself in this experience by taking on every enemy. Like, if my constant complaint is I don't have any bullets and my life is potentially a little low, or I'm taking a lot of damage, you can kind of adjust for both of those complaints somewhat by just fleeing, just running away. Does that feel like Indiana Jones? Not really. Like, sure, he runs when he's being chased and outnumbered, but in a video game format, you would think he would take on all conflict and engage in combat as much as possible. We don't have a map, so there's no telling how long this level is, but if I was to suspect, there's probably a chapter that's around getting to the bottom of this point, and then there's probably an entire secondary castle down in that section, and that may be a much more linear castle, much like the first level in which we just move from point A to point B over and over and over again. We have hit an interesting spot where we are now seeing the Turkish guards with their face covered, so they are hiding the fact that it is just the same 3D model over and over and over again. They should have been doing that with like bandanas or military masks for the enemies in the first level and the second level, but they weren't, so we were seeing a lot of clones of the exact same characters. Whoops, I'm trying to click the pause button here and I almost fell off the edge. Secret of the Mosque. So this is apparently a mosque. At least that's what they're calling it. Yeah. So we go through this level, we get the third piece of the mirror, I guess. The mirror then probably gets stolen from us and we have to chase somebody to get to the Emperor's tomb, and then there would probably be an entire level around the Emperor's tomb. So we might be halfway through the game at this point. I'm not expecting a lot of new things, but I am surprised by the new things I have seen here. It seems like there's definitely a different thought even at the beginning here, more around throwing grenades. I wish the ideas of throwing grenades and the ideas of having more of a central hub location and having an actual puzzle were spread out more evenly throughout the rest of the experience that we've had up until this point. But alas, that's not the case. So maybe there's just different teams or different thoughts happening in each of the different areas and different levels. And we'll see how well this level compares to the previous one. I guess that's going to be about it though. So that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.